All right. Good morning, you guys. Welcome. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves you and I love you too. Feel the love and the unity. Lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Person next to you. Say, I recognize God in you. Feel the love and the unity. Lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together in the name of love. Every walk of life, every creed and color, kinship unite in honor of God and each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love and the unity. Lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love.
Good morning. How is everybody today? Good. I'm ruining the microphone here. All right, there you go. Well, welcome. Welcome. If you're here for the first time, I want you to know that this is a wonderful center where we honor everyone who is on their spiritual pathway, who practice their beliefs in faith and love. Just turn around and wave to the people around you for a second here, because that's what we can do. I want to thank Reverend Mike for including me this morning and for honoring me, actually, with an opportunity to be here to speak in person and to have an audience. This is the most wonderful part of coming back together, is that people are still a little reluctant to gather in groups, but we are masked and we are honoring the social distancing here, so please tell your friends to come and join us on Sunday morning. Our call to service here is called Lighting the Flames of Faith, and we do this every single Sunday morning. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from that one great universal presence which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. Our presider this morning is Reverend Kathy, and she is lighting the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. The second candle we light for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. The third candle we light for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. The fourth candle we light for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. The fifth candle we light for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The sixth candle we light for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. The seventh candle we light for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the seventh candle. Whoops, we did that. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light the 10th candle for all those who are yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in our lives and for the space that we hold for them at the center. And as Reverend Kathy lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
There is one flame that burns in our hearts. There is one light that shines through our love. We light this flame with faith. We light this flame with faith. We find this light within our own souls. There is one flame, one light within.
So join me in consciousness as I speak my word in the first person for each one here and online, anywhere in the world and the universe. How grateful I am to be here to bask in that one light, recognizing that one power, that one presence, which is God, and that God is love and enlightenment and harmony and peace. And I am one with this presence, one with God's love, enlightenment, harmony, and peace. And so as I proclaim right now that this beautiful Sunday service is a perfect and complete idea in the mind of God, that I just bask in this loving essence of God that is always within me and expressing through me, and that I have enlightenment today from Dr. Maureen's talk and enlightenment from the music, and I just feel that exaltation of my soul, just feeling that loving presence of God. And so I know that my life has harmony and peace. So I just trust that all is well in my life. And so I am so grateful right now for this beautiful service, for the love, enlightenment, harmony, and peace that I'm experiencing right now. And so I release my word to the law of mind as I let it be so. And together we say, and so it is. Well, good morning. Love to see people here in person, and welcome to everybody watching online. How many people have ever said, what if only, shoulda, woulda, coulda, thinking and regretting some decision made in the past, thinking if I'd only made a different decision, if I only hadn't been at a certain place, maybe things would be different, maybe things would be better. I know that I've done that, and what I found to be very helpful and inspiring was something that Reverend Dr. Maureen shared at our class a couple of weeks ago. It's India's 4 laws of spirituality, and I'm just going to share 2 of them for the sake of time. The first one is, the person who arrives is always the right person, and what happens is exactly what's supposed to happen. Woo! You know, how many people, have you ever known anybody, if they're going through a relationship breakup, they say, oh, well, if I'd only chosen a different partner, maybe I'd still be with, been with the love of my life. I know that I did that when I went through a divorce. I thought, well, gee, if I'd only married George or Fred instead of Bill, maybe I would have had the long-lasting marriage. And I realized, though, after studying the law of attraction, that wouldn't have happened. If Bill hadn't come along, there would have been somebody else exactly like him, because whatever we attract who we are, or I think in that case, sometimes our shadow side. That's why it's a good idea to explore these things to improve our relationships and attract different types of people. The second thing is, whatever happens is exactly what's supposed to happen. And I think that's a good one, because whatever happens, wherever I am right now, everything that happened in the past, that got me to where I am. And regretting making different decisions, or, if I'd had a different relationship or a different job or lived somewhere else, I would have been happier. Well, things like happiness, love, success, these all come from within. It's not something that we get from out there. So sometimes if we think, we'll leave a relationship or a job because of something we're unhappy about, and I'm not talking about things if we've genuinely outgrown something, but we get mad about something that happens at work, or we don't like things about our partner, and so we go, and a lot of times we just end up with the same, maybe different faces, different names, but pretty much the same experience happens. I know, too, that I had this what-if moment a couple of days ago. I was backing out of my garage going to work, and I was in a hurry, and the neighbor whose garage is exactly across from mine, we kind of collided a little bit, kind of a little light collision. Our rear ends kind of collided. And it was like I started in with this what if only. What if I had left work a few minutes earlier, a few minutes later? Maybe I wouldn't have had this happen. I mean, it was a very minor thing that I can easily pay for. We exchanged insurance, but yet it still was something that it was an annoyance. And so anyway, I got to thinking, though, that there's no accidents. This was a wake-up call. I need to be more mindful when I get in the car or anything that I do. I also need to remember that I have this wonderful screen near my dashboard that I can look at when I back out. I was in kind of a hurry and I didn't do that, but instead of beating myself up, I just realized, well, now I know I need to be more mindful. And so now I have this little ritual when I get in the car. I sit for 1 second or two, I take a breath and say I'm mindful of what I'm doing. And that makes it better. Sometimes I think we have little accidents because we get too harried in life. Relax, slow down. So remember that what Ernest Holmes says, everyone attracts to himself just what he is, and we may set it down that wherever we are, however intolerable the situation may be, we are just where we belong. Realize there's no mistakes, only experience. Louise Hay says the past is over and the power is in the present moment. So today, take this opportunity to empower yourself in the present moment and acquire what you desire. Thank you, and so it is.
Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you. We'd like to congratulate Jason for getting married. Jason and Lily got married last Sunday. Sing at the top of your voice. Love without fear in your heart. Feel like you still have a choice. If we all shine our light, we can scare away the dark. We wish our weekends away, spend our weekends in bed, drink ourselves stupid, work ourselves dead. It's all just because that's what Mom and Dad said we should do. We should run through the forest, swim through the streams. We should laugh, we should cry, we should love, we should dream. We should stare at the stars and nod at our screens. You should hear what I'm saying and know what it means. We'll sing, sing at the top of your voice, and love without fear in your heart. Yeah, feel like you still have a choice. If we all shine our light, we can scare away the dark. Well, we wish we were happier, thinner and fitter. We wish we weren't losers or liars and quitters. We want something more, not just nasty and bitter. We want something real, not just hashtags and Twitter. It's the meaning of life, and now it's streamed live on YouTube. But I bet Trump golfing will still get more views. We're scared of drowning and flying in shooters. We're all slowly dying in front of our computers. So sing, sing at the top of your voice. Yeah, love without fear in your heart. And feel like you still have a choice. If we all shine our light, we can scare away the dark. Yeah, if we all shine our light, we can scare away the dark. Thank you.
Is that original?
It is not. It's an Irish band called Passenger.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Thank you all for being here. And I was going to say congratulations to you also, Jason, because it was last Sunday, right?
It was.
Jason got married last Sunday.
a week ago.
To Lily. Yay. The
Thank you,
magnificent musical duo.
guys. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. So, and that was a great song, Ken. We're so blessed to have such a talented music ministry. So thank you for bringing that to us. It was very timely. I would sing at the top of my voice if I had a voice like you. But I do anyway. So, you know, the message in that song really for me was, because I've spent so many years wanting to be something other than what I am. And when I realized who I really am, I don't need to do that. So that line about wishing we were thinner really struck home for me. Mm-hmm. So let me say welcome to Maureen's sisters in the house. Good morning and welcome to you. You're most welcome here. And we have another new visitor from Santa Clarita, whose name is Suzanne, I think, right? Yes, welcome. You're most welcome here. So unfortunately, a lot of the churches over the pandemic, you know, have not really thrived as much as we have. So we are receiving the benefit of that by having visitors from Santa Clarita, for example, who have come and landed here, hopefully not just temporarily, but hopefully you will find this a safe place to land, and that you'll be interested maybe in membership at some point. So if you have questions about membership or anything, please see me or Kathy Theodore in the back, or Nikki, or any one of us will answer your questions. So, announcements.
If you would like prayer support, of course, you can find a practitioner at CSLGH.org or fill out a prayer request form on the counter in the lobby. There are forms there that you could fill out, and the practitioner corps will hold you in prayer. Today, after service, we have fellowship on Zoom, and that is going to be facilitated this morning by Reverend Jessica Fish at 11:45. The law of attraction, is that today? Okay. That's today at 1 o'clock, also online, facilitated by our own Mike Carland. And our healing support group is also online today at 1 o'clock. So if you're feeling the loss of a loved one or have any kind of an issue that you want healing around, please check into the healing support group. It's supportive and a wonderful place for you to get the kind of support that you feel you might need at this time. Reverend Maureen Hoyt. I love you, Maureen.
Oh, I love you
So
back.
happy to see you here. She is doing a class on prosperity. Is it still open?
Yes, because we didn't have class last week.
Okay.
Yes.
So the class is still open. It's called Prosperity Potpourri. And she's, I think, taken from a bunch of different teachers and put it all together, much like Ernest Holmes has done with the Science of Mind. Animal Kinship Group, is that today, Kathy? Okay, oh, I see, August 15th. So if you have healing that you want to do around your animals, or if you just want to share the joy that your animals bring to your life, check out Reverend Kathy's group. It's Animal Kinship, and that's next Sunday at 1 o'clock. And don't forget, as far as I know, depending on how things unfold over the next couple months, we're still planning on our fall fling. Originally spring fling, but it's now become, after many, many, many months of postponing and years even, it is now our fall fling, October 2nd. And the theme is denim and diamonds. So break out your diamonds and your blue jeans and come dance with us and eat and fellowship. So thank you again for being here. We're happy to see you all. And I turn it over to Reverend Hattie.
Thank you, Andrea.
So please stand and join me in our Declaration of Principles. We believe in one universal spirit manifesting through all, natural and incarnated in us. We believe the universal spirit is personal to and reveals itself through everyone who recognizes its presence. We believe our faith operates upon a law of mind which automatically manifests in our experience according to that faith. We believe in the unity of all life and in the immortality of the individual soul forever expanding. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the givingness of life to all.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
Wow, Daniel Namod. He's a prolific musician, is he not?
Yeah.
Yep, and some of our favorite music comes from him. I just love how Mike Carlin gussies up my PowerPoint. I send him blank PowerPoints, and he fixes it all. It's just so wonderful. Yay, Mike Carlin. Yay. So, here we are. It's okay. It's okay. When they play a Daniel Namod song, I think about singing. And then I think twice, because when I was here for 14 and a half years as the spiritual director of this center, they kind of paid me not to sing on Sunday mornings. So I can sing. Have you ever noticed that sometimes what you hear in your head doesn't exactly come out on your mouth, you know? That's so funny. So I want to thank everybody on the live stream this morning. And, I want to thank my sister Donna for showing up. She's the former Unity minister in Hemet, California. And she retired a few years ago, too. But she retired better than I did. And she spends more time doing playful things in her life than I do. And I could take a few lessons from her. So this morning, the theme actually for the whole month is called A Pause for Guidance. And A Pause for Guidance has so many different ramifications, but today the talk title is A Playful Pause. And it's, as is always the case, information shows up for me whenever I get an opportunity to give a talk. It just shows up. It shows up on Facebook. It shows up in an email that somebody sends me. It shows up in a conversation that I might have had on the phone, or a commercial on television gets me, and I madly write down dialogue from a commercial. It comes as it's supposed to come. And what Kathy said this morning, whatever happens is supposed to happen. So the question, though, that came up for me, okay, Mike told me how I'm supposed to do this, so I'm doing it. There you go. Why don't we take time for a playful pause? And why do we seem to find staying in the present so challenging? You know, those are two really good questions for us today. I don't know about some of you, but the class on Tuesday nights, one of the students in the class is a school teacher, a high school teacher. And when we were trying to decide to go from in-person learning to just on Zoom, we're doing it both, half and half now, she said that she wouldn't go to Zoom because this was the one reprieve that she had in taking a class in person where she didn't have to be on Zoom and be paying attention the same way that she'd had to do all year with her students. So we gave everybody the opportunity either to go on Zoom if that's what they choose to do, a couple of them did, or stay in the in-person class, and that's what some people chose to do too as well. But staying in the present can be one of the most challenging practices in our human development. The Buddha has been quoted as saying, all life is suffering. All life is suffering. How many of you have heard that before? Yes, yes. What isn't explained or expanded upon in this reference to this interpretation is the Buddha did not speak English. He didn't speak English. So he used a word that doesn't necessarily mean suffering. It was dukkha. And dukkha has a number of interpretations and a number of references. And these are the three that come up: physical, emotional, and mental pain, impermanence or change, or conditioned states. So one of the reasons staying in the present can be so challenging is that one or more of these expressions of suffering may be operating within ourselves at any given time. Some of us have, might have physical pain. And so we're emotionally challenged by the physical pain. Because, when you're in physical pain, there's a little brain fog, right? Or mental fog, as the saying goes. It may require some kind of change on our part. And it may be a conditioned state that is causing the suffering. So one of the reasons staying in the present, as I said, is that we are exhibiting one or more of these challenges. Developing the capacity to be with one's dukkha, and not only to be with it, but to be able to use it as a learning experience and a point of inquiry can be quite a revolutionary and informative opportunity. Like Kathy said, when she bumped into that car, she wasn't being mindful. What is the lesson that I get to learn? And the lessons come to us sometimes quietly on angels' feet, and then other times like a brick upside the head. We've all had those kinds of experiences, I'm sure. And as we develop the capacity to be with our unique expression of suffering and not let it define us, that's the big thing, not letting it define us, it can lead to new depths of awareness and integration and love of self, others, and the world. So the Buddhists teach that as sentient or conscious beings, we experience dukkha, which has been translated into the English language as suffering. Suffering or pain. That's the primary dukkha. Ordinary suffering, as defined by the English word, is one form of dukkha. This includes physical, emotional, and mental pain, as I said. Impermanence, anything that is not permanent. When we may have been given notice of a job ending, or we're going to be furloughed, or a relationship is ending, it is something that is subject to change. Because we really can't change one thing in our lives without changing every other thing in our lives at the same time. It comes and goes. It's really not permanent, but it's something that begins and ends. And sometimes it doesn't end nicely. Let me just put it that way. Sometimes it ends a bit harshly. Relationship, for instance. Very often the same reasons we become involved in a relationship are the same reasons that we end the relationship. And that seems to be a common occurrence in my counseling and coaching that I do. Great success, which fades with the passage of time, is dukkha, is suffering. But we try to rest on our laurels sometimes, and we want to rest on the success we've had. Even the purest state of bliss, they say, is experienced in spiritual practice, which was what we would call the fourth kingdom of consciousness, is dukkha. This doesn't mean that happiness, success, and bliss are bad. or that it's wrong to enjoy them. If you feel happy, then enjoy being happy. Just don't cling to it, because it's elusive. It comes and it goes. In the same way, sadness comes and goes. So this is so much that all of these things that came up for me this week, and having to look up and research some of these words, the Sanskrit words, well, maybe not Sanskrit, probably, yes, thank you very much, thank you. So the conditioned states are called samkara or dukkha. And to be conditioned is to be dependent on or affected by something else. And that's where happiness and sadness come in, because they're not really internal values. My happiness and sadness is predicated on what's going on out there. Whoa, I saw my kids today. I feel happy. Oh, I didn't see my granddaughter yesterday. I don't feel so happy. I feel a little sad for that. So those emotional states are affected, are there in the effect. Joy, on the other hand, is at the core of who we are. And so we get to go back when we're in that place of suffering. We can always go back to the inherent joy that's within us, and that's our connection to God. So all life is suffering takes on a whole new perspective in the light of dukkha. The Buddhists also teach that there is necessary suffering and there is unnecessary suffering. Developing the capacity to understand the difference between necessary and unnecessary suffering is definitely part of our enlightenment. Unnecessary suffering is the experience we create in attempting to avoid suffering. I got that in spades last week. And we're all born into that dilemma. We are. And this is why we don't often take the playful pause in life. As addictions are a form of unnecessary suffering, and perhaps it's time for us to stop trying to escape the uncomfortable and the unreasonable experiences of life and the people around us who help create them. We must be able to look at our dukkha, our suffering, to feel our dukkha, and to practice being with our dukkha without needing it to be anything other than what it is. It is what it is. No judgment, no condemnation, no resentment. We don't have to live in it. We can live through it. And this is the beauty of enlightenment, is when we begin to realize we're at the beginning stage of dukkha, where we may be frustrated a little bit. We may be angry a little bit. We may be resentful or judgmental towards somebody else. But if we do that and see what it is for what it is, and then release it and let it go, this is, as the Buddhists would say, the height of enlightenment. We have felt the feelings and we've moved on. We are now enlightened. Ernest Holmes says there's no comparison in the mind of God. My suffering is mine. Your suffering is yours. And we don't have to get down and dirty with each other in it. But we can share our suffering together. If I am suffering, I don't get to blame anyone else for my suffering. And yet, if I learn to take time for a playful pause, the suffering either diminishes or goes completely away. I have a choice. I absolutely have a choice. Ken's song was just a perfect song this morning for what it is I'm trying to say. You know, the fact that we can say that it diminishes or goes away completely is easy peasy, right? Or maybe not so much. Recently, I've been blessed to find a new teacher, and fairly new for me. It's probably been in the last year. My friend, Reverend Dr. Patrick Cameron from Edmonton, sent me a 2.5 hour video of Dr. Gabor Mate and Tim Ferriss. Tim Ferriss was interviewing him. And his name, Dr. Gabor Mate is a Hungarian refugee who came over from Hungary in the late 50s during the Hungarian Revolution. And he's a medical doctor, and he practices in Vancouver, British Columbia. And he's doing commendable work in the field of addiction, using hallucinogenics to get the deeply held subconscious beliefs about alcoholism and drug addiction particularly. He maintains my long-held belief that neither of these addictions are diseases, but coping mechanisms for trauma. And I highly recommend the movie, The Wisdom of Trauma. It's new, it just came out, and that's the link that's on the screen right now for this movie. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about this, but it plays off people he's talking to in the movie who have recovered from addictions that they have had for sometimes years and years and years and years because of the work that he's doing. And if I've learned anything at my advanced age, it's that we perpetuate the memory of trauma because we've lost the joy of life. Somehow we've lost the joy of life. And our trauma becomes our story. And we tell the story with great embellishment, over and over and over again. So it becomes our identity to some degree. Now, I'm not the only one in here who's done that. I'm pretty sure of that. But I'd love to think that maybe all of you are more enlightened than I am, and you're here because you're generating some kind of energy back to me that's going to help me with that. But the thing about we've lost the joy of life, and we're more interested in the suffering than in taking a playful pause. We've forgotten how to be playful. And again, the talk, a playful pause. Where in your life have you stopped yourself from experiencing the full expression of spirit through you in play? What activity, game, or creative endeavor, or hobby did you used to love but stopped doing it because it was a waste of time? Or even worse, you didn't have the time to do it or take the time to do it. My sister Donna is an incredible artist. She did a painting of a fox that you can see the soul of that fox in the eyes in that painting. And she painted years ago, but for a long period of time, your whole entire ministry probably, you really didn't pick up a paintbrush, right? Now she got to be retired and to do those kinds of things, playful pause. Ernest Holmes said in this thing called You, he said, we exist that divine feeling, fire, imagination, and creativity may be expressed through us. This is really what we came here to do, to creatively express. The Spirit comes to us with a new and fresh creativity. Be yourself and express life as you find it. Take the time. Make the time. We've learned every single thing that we need to learn from suffering. We really don't need to do that anymore. And I'm of a certain age where I really don't need to do that anymore. If we learned anything, I think in the last 18 months, it's how to live with ourselves at a whole different level than we did before COVID. Do not spend time with people who are energy vampires, who suck the life's blood out of us. Don't do that. When you get a little bit older and wiser, which I like to think I am, I realized when I had lunch with a quote-unquote friend who was an energy vampire, I walked away from the lunch saying, well, that's 90 minutes I'll never get back from my life. And I realized Why do I continue to pursue relationships with people who don't serve me? And in ministry, a lot of times we're compelled to do that because we're ministers. So what I've decided I'm going to do from now on, I'm going to spend time with people who make me laugh. I'm going to do things that bring me joy. I'm going to a funny movie or a comedy club. Laughter isn't simply the best medicine. It is the fuel for the soul, as Edward Villian and Chris Michael said in their journal. You know, Netflix has a plethora of funny movies on there, and some that I've watched over and over again. I watched The Terminal with Tom Hanks. I think that's one of the best movies that he ever made. He plays a Russian guy who gets stuck at the airport because his country is under siege and he's not allowed into New York. And then there's a new one with Diane Keaton called Hempstead. It's on Netflix. It's just freaking adorable. I mean, you can't be suffering while watching that movie. I'm not interested in anyone's terrifying conspiracy theories or their futurizing fears or what's wrong with the economy or President Biden or Gavin Newsom. Tell me what makes your heart sing. Tell me what makes you cry. Tell me your most hidden parts so I can share mine with you too. That's what a pause, a playful pause is. Being playful is a key component in making us happier, healthier, more present, and connected in all of our relationships. Some of the playful things that you could do, and I'm just going to give you some ideas. Fun group activities. Now, maybe we can't really convene in larger groups like we used to before COVID, but we could do like 5 people at a time. That's still a group. Vision board creation party. Dancing. Hosting an inspiration theater with an open mic. Game night, concert, and spiritual community sports teams. Some of those I would like to do, and some of those I wouldn't be very good at. But wouldn't it be fun to have a room large enough to host a vision board party? I haven't done one of those in years. Perhaps we should think of doing this for the next class, that we can all gather together safely and enjoy a day of unbridled creativity. What is something you used to love to do, but set it aside for things that were quote unquote more important? Could you set time aside each day or week to participate in that activity again? Just asking. Do you believe that your value or worth is tied to your productivity? You know, we get so busy sometimes that if you're not doing something, I have a daughter who's doing all the time. She's a bit crazy about it. I am not like that. However, I do in a different way than she does. I do in a different way. What would it feel like to know that our inherent worth, just as a human being, regardless of our productivity, is what's valuable? In many shamanic societies, if you came to a medicine person complaining of being disheartened, dispirited, or depressed, they would ask one of 4 questions. When did you stop dancing? When did you stop singing? When did you stop being enchanted by stories? When did you stop being comforted by the sweet territory of silence? Ken must be hugely enlightened. Jason must be hugely enlightened. They're singing all the time. There's a Hasidic tale about a famous rabbi who was on his way to teach a village that was very interested in his ideas. This was going to be a very big event, and each Jew in the community made great preparations, pondering what question he or she might ask the wise man. The rabbi finally arrived, and after the initial welcome, he was taken to a large room where people gathered to ask their questions. There was tremendous anticipation and excitement all around. The rabbi walked silently around the room and then began to hum a Hasidic song. Before long, everyone started humming along with him. He had a soft voice, and as people became comfortable with his song, the music got louder and more beautiful. The rabbi then began to dance. He danced everywhere in the room, and one by one, every person danced with him for a short period of time. Soon everyone in the whole community was dancing wildly together. Each person's soul was healed by the dance, and everyone experienced a personal transformation. Later in the night, the rabbi gradually slowed the dance and eventually brought it to a stop. He looked into everyone's eyes, one by one, and said gently, "I trust I have answered all your questions." You've all heard the saying, "All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy." And I'll add, and makes Jill a dull boy too. A dull girl too. Sorry, a dull boy. A dull girl too. A playful pause, or an orchestrated time frame of a long-term pause, provides a totally present moment experience where there is no suffering, there is no past, there is no future. There is only the present moment, knowing that with God, all things are possible. Will you join me in consciousness, please, as the musicians come forward? And so if you'll join me in consciousness and go within for just a moment and know that place of perfect peace, that place that is the inner sanctuary within each one of us that only knows the power and presence of Spirit. And that the energy that is conveyed by this power and presence of Spirit is the same energy that is created in you and I. That suffering is about fear. And playful pauses are about excitement. And as Deepak Chopra will tell us, the same gastric juices are generated from fear as they are from excitement. So today, we get to choose excitement. We get to know that in the absolute, relatively speaking, or in the relative, absolutely speaking, we are living life to the fullest. That every one of us needs a periodic pause. We need a periodic vacation. We need a periodic rest time so that we can regenerate and rejuvenate to go on to do what is necessary to live life to the fullest. And so today I charge you with taking the time to go to a movie, sharing time with a good friend who loves and supports us, to be with your pets fully and completely, and to know that all of this is part and parcel of living a superlative life experience. Ernest Holmes said, "Always expect the best." The Buddhists say, "Expect nothing, be prepared for everything." And so today, both things are true, knowing as I joyfully receive and give thanks for this time together, I know God is in the mix. All is well, as we say together, and so it is.
Two, three, four. Hope you never lose your sense of wonder. Guess you're filled to eat, but always keep that hunger. May you never take one single breath for granted. God forbid love ever leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more open. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you never fear those mountains in the distance. Never settle for the path of least resistance. Living might mean taking chances, but they're worth taking. Loving might be a mistake, but it's worth making. So don't let some helping heart leave you bitter. When you come close to selling out, reconsider. Give the heavens above more than just a passing glance. And when you get a choice, sit it out or dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. Yeah, yeah. Well, time is a wheel of constant motion, always rolling for so long. Tell me who wants to look back on their years and wonder where those years have gone. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. Yeah. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. Thank you.
I think you sit on my shoulder sometimes when I'm writing a talk. It's amazing how that works. Well, alrighty then. Now we're doing the offering. So, let me see. I have this wonderful little piece of paper. That's my. What I want to say is Reverend Mike has shared with me how grateful he is, as is everyone who participates in this center, how everyone over the last year and a half has financially supported this center to the degree that, you know, this place is here when we get ready to come back and have 100 seats in here filled to the brim, first service and second service. I want to thank Reverend Nikki for first service this morning, and she got to stay back for the second service, but she spoke, and you'll be able to hear her talk on your website, yes? So go take a listen to that. And for those on live stream, we have ways to donate to the center. They're all on our website, and please avail yourselves of those. I happened to notice sitting at Melissa's desk this morning, and the mail was there, and a lot of times I get mail here, and I noticed that probably 90 8% of the envelopes were checks, because I recognize how I send my check from Chase on autopay. So please avail yourself of those services. And for those who are here today that would love to put something in the basket, please, you're welcome to do that. And we'll just know for all of us, as we go within just for a second, to be blessed by the generosity of those people who have contributed financially and physically to this center, to our sound team with the guys in the back of the room, with Jason and Ken and their musical offerings, and for everyone who ushers or greets people on Sunday mornings and who attends any event at this center. My class on Tuesdays, the Wednesday night meditation, which is open to the public now. Please just know that we are here for you and that our practitioners are also here for you. So the generosity of this congregation goes way far beyond the financial generosity. It is the physical and the emotional support that Reverend Mike receives from many of the people here at this center. And so we are blessed, and we are blessed, and we are blessed, as together we say, and so it is. So, there you go. Do we think that that's it? Kathy, are you going to come up and do the benediction? All right, I'll step away so you can get behind the lectern here. Oh, the offering song. Oh, take it away.
Well,
Yes.
Short version.
Yeah, short version, yes.
Spirit gives through me, Spirit receives through me, Spirit lives and breathes through me, Spirit lives and breathes through me, Spirit gives through us, Spirit receives through us, Spirit lives and breathes through us. Spirit lives and breathes through us. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Reverend Dr. Maureen, and to Ken and our new groom, Jason, and also for Michael and Evan, who help us the visuals and the sound. I just want to thank everyone here. Give yourselves a... So just join me in consciousness. As I speak my word in the first person for each one here and online, knowing and affirming that there is that one power which is God, and that God is love and joy and peace and enthusiasm, and I am one with God, one with its love, joy, peace, and enthusiasm. So I know that every fiber of my being is filled with God's love, because I am God's love, I am God's peace, I am God's joy and enthusiasm. So I just have this joy and gusto for life, that I take time every day to feel that loving presence of God. Through all the busyness, I pause and just revel in that God presence that always expresses through me as me. And so I always feel that joy and enthusiasm for life, and I feel peaceful within, just knowing and affirming that with God all things are possible. And so I do give thanks for this beautiful, wonderful day, and for the joy and enthusiasm and peace and love that I have in my life right now, and that I have eternally. So with great gratitude, I release my word to the law of mind as I let it be so. And together we say, and so it is.
I can share in the peace song this morning.
1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. take. Let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment in living